Denise with Perry Hill Farms. I wanted to come on here real quick and just let you know that this next video that we're about to show you is where Eric is starting the build for the cover for the smokehouse that we built a few years ago. And if you're starting to watch this video and are curious to know how we built our smokehouse, we do have a seven-part series of videos on our page. Just look for Smokehouse Build, I think is the title of it. And you can actually watch how Eric built the smokehouse. And then you can come back and watch how we did the cover on it. Now, this is going to be done in a few part series also. So today you have part 1, and then the next video out will be part 2. So follow along as Eric shows you how he does it. He's so funny when he starts to do a build. His brain goes 90 to nothing trying to think through every aspect of building and making sure that he's doing it right. So you can follow and watch as he thinks through this process of how to get this shelter built over our smokehouse. And he really does a great job, and I can't wait for you to see the finished product. But here's part 1 of that shelter build. So come follow us along.
All right, folks, it is Saturday, and I'm off and went and got some lumber, and we're going to try to start the process of getting this pole barn built over the top of this smokehouse and wood so we can store wood. I got to get a few items. The problem I have, and it's a problem for me because I don't know what I'm doing, but since I've got a smokehouse in the middle, it's hard for me to square this thing like a traditional someone who would square it, where you make your 4 posts, string it out, and then run your strings diagonal, make sure they are the equal distance, equal measurement. So for me, I'm going to have to try the triangle method, where I'm going to square up a corner and then take that string down to the next string across to where I'm going to put post, do a triangle there, square up that corner, and see if that will work. I need to make sure I've got it pretty close to square for my roof. And then, of course, at the top, I'll have to square it a little bit with wood, like pushing it. These posts are going to be, you know, probably 9 foot high up above the ground to around 7 foot high on the backside. So anyways, I need to have some stakes and some string to string this so I can be close. And I've got to be able to mark on this string so I can measure my triangles. And I think I have enough of this string to do that. So we are going to gather up this supplies, a hammer, and see if I can figure out how to square this. And I got to start digging holes. And so Denise is in the house. She's got some family here, and my daughter with her baby, and Erica and them are feeding the animals because Stumpy and them are hunting today. And so I'm going to be working on this project. So we're going to see if we can get it started. The first thing I got to do is mark out where I want the posts. And so I know there's a water line that runs right through there, so I can't go far out that way. I got to stay close to this pad. So I'm going to use this pad as my reference as far as starting my line. Now I'll put my posts here about 15 feet that way and about 15 to 16 feet that way. So I want this thing I have enough tin for the roof for basically a 15.5 foot by 16 roof. I could go 18. I may go 18 because I've got enough length. I just don't have enough width to go more than 15 feet wide. So I'm going to take a spot, say where I want the post to go, start it here. I'm gonna run it that way, and then I'll run one that way, the length I need, and then I will try to square it, okay? Yeah, square this corner, and then that will tell me where this post needs to be sitting, where that post needs to be sitting, and then I'll square that corner, and then that corner, and then this corner. And hopefully when I set my posts, then a little pressure at the top will help me set the posts square at the top for the roof. So I'm gonna start by using just a metal spike to mark my spot. And so I think I'm gonna start right here. With my string. And get my measuring tape. And I'm gonna measure from here over there 15 feet. Because what I want is the post is 4x4, so 4 inches. Really what I probably want to do is put this right here. So I'm going to tentatively put this right there, push it down in the dirt. That gives me 4 inches there. Dig that hole right there. That way my post will sit in there. The inside of this, the outside of the post would be 4 inches off this concrete. So I need to go 15 feet from there. Okay, so I measured 15 feet that way and placed one. Now I don't know if it's on a straight line yet because I'm gonna do one here, and then I'm going to square it up with what they call the 3-4-5 rule triangle. And so basically I will measure at one of these corners. I will measure, once I lay it out there, I'll start somewhere, measure that corner, 3 foot down one string, mark it, 4 foot down this string, mark it, and then I measure from this string to that string. It should be 5 feet. If it is, that corner square. If it's not, then I have to adjust this peg out here or that peg down there to square the building. So I got to measure this way now. I think I'm going to go 18 feet. All right, so I've got these set. I know it's not square, but I've got this string tight. And I'm going to measure 3 feet this way. Make a mark on this string. Measure 4 foot this way. All right, that's a square triangle right there. Or that's square according to the triangle. So now, I need to run a string down there and square that one up. So let's see. All right, problem number 1. Not Murphy, but we've got this set. Denise and I just, she helped me come out real quick because it was hard for me to measure these by myself. And this measurement I couldn't get exact because the building was in the way. So I couldn't get my 4-3 measurement. So what I'm gonna do is I want to put 3 posts across the front, and I just realized if I do it across the concrete, I'm gonna have to put 1 there in the concrete. I know I'm gonna have to put 1 here somewhere on the concrete, probably up the middle for support. But we'll see as that time comes. But the deal is I need to get this far enough out here, and I may be able to get an angle that way and square it that way. So I'm gonna reposition these, remove them. It's gonna be a pain, but I need to do it. And I'm gonna set these out and then see how that looks. And then I'll factor in how far my tin needs to run off the backside. All right, well, after much ado, I've come up with a plan. So I did end up staking it up and putting, let's see if I can do it here. I ended up putting a tall stake to come across over here. It's already taken down, but to measure a diagonal, and I've got the diagonal, and you know, I've got it within, you know, a half an inch. Of course, I'll be able to adjust the top with my tractor. Once I set the post, I can push the post in as I, you know, set the top. The roof is the most important part, so I can square it with a little pressure up there to get it completely square. That's my goal. And so, but what I did realize is I'm going to have to go 10 feet this way with the next post. If I put it halfway, it was going to be right here on the building next to this 10. My problem with that is if I ever needed to do any work on this or replace wood or something, a post was sitting in front of that, and it was going to sit, I'll show you, somewhere right here, which would be right where I would need to take boards off, replace wood, and that would be hard. So I brought it out 2 feet, and I'm going to put it here. So my 2 posts will come across the back of the smokehouse. The roof won't be in the way. Plus, if I ever have to do any work on this, I'll have room to work. I realized if I put that post there, I'm gonna mess up pretty big. So with these 2x6 trusses, you know, that 10-foot carry is not gonna be bad, and then I'll have another 6 foot to carry on the backside. And so I think that's gonna work out fine. So now what I wanna start doing is digging the holes, setting the posts, and I'm gonna dry set them, secure them with boards to see if I can, you know, see how it looks from the top as far as squareness, measurement wise. If that looks good, then I can sackcrete them. And what I mean by set them with boards is I'll set the posts. I put a little dirt in there just to sturdy them up, and I'll take boards, anchor boards, stop them in the ground, and just screw them to the post where they stay stable, where I can look at it. But now my other problem is going to be, you know, getting it, once I get it up, is getting it level. And of course I'll do that with, you know, a level on one end, a level on the back end at the height that I want, and then I will draw those lines and make sure that's level. That's where I'll put the header boards so that our trusses can go down in that manner. And I'll have to do the same thing on this outer one. I'll put a post out here, a post out there. I'll hang a header, and then I'll have to put a post on the concrete slab up in the middle to give it some support. A lot to think about. Lord have mercy. But I'm trying to make sure I've kind of thought it through good enough so where I doubt it'll be perfect because I'm not a master carpenter, but I think I can get it pretty darn close. And if it's close and I've got enough room, I'm doing it 15 feet wide. I got 15.5 feet of roof carry. So I should be able to, you know, manage that with that 15 foot. That'll give me 6 inches leeway, you know, if I'm a little off on my measurements. All right. I love these projects, but I'm learning. So I couldn't get it like I wanted to. I laid it out and I dug one hole just to see how it was gonna look, and I was like, just something don't seem right about this. So I came up with another plan. So since I knew the dimensions and I couldn't get the catty corner real good, you know, I had my measurements, they looked pretty close, but something just didn't seem right. So I actually built a frame. That's the dimension of what I need. And just laid it on the ground here. I built it around the contraption here. And so now I will know exactly where to dig my posts. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to slide it further this direction. And so I measure 10 inches and put little tiny posts. because it is pretty square right now. And I'm gonna get my daughter to help me. We're gonna slide, there it is right there. We're gonna slide this where this end of this board right here comes to that. We'll slide that where it meets flush, just basically pull it straight back, and then we'll re-square each corner. I measured them. I did the 3, 4, 5 method to make sure they were square, and they were square. We'll re-measure them to make sure they're square, that we didn't pull it out of square, and then I will start digging the posts. This has been a big to-do for me trying to figure this out, but I did not want to set posts and it not be accurate. And what this will do is allow me to have a little less on this front side, because it'll come up pretty high, and a lot more off this back side. Because what I'd like to do is slide this back, this part back some more to here, and then I'll also have some overhang with my tin, which will give me a little bit more. So that's what we're about to do. Okay, so we got it moved, pulled it up. You can see this slab, this thing is not square, and I guess I could try to square it up with the concrete, which would require me moving the whole thing this direction. Oop, my fingers. Moving the whole thing this direction to square it up like that. It's so hard to tell. I'm not good about what I would need to square it to, other than I could square it up where it's doesn't look like that concrete's messed up. It looks that way now because I have this on the ground. Once I get the building over the top, it's really not going to make that much of a difference, I don't think. But what I have now is square, and I can start putting my post here. I've got the hole dug there, and then I'll dig one down there. I've got the same distance down here, and we'll get this party started. Alright, so I'm gonna set this right here. So I gotta put some posts in the ground. So these are all 12-foot posts. Foot posts. And I did that so I could make it tall enough to get on top of that smokehouse if I need to do some work. It won't be 12 foot, but I'm leaning more towards 9 above the ground. I got some 10-foot ones for the backside, but gotta go back here. Now I gotta level them up. And then I'll satcrete them. Once I got them leveled, I'll secure them and let them set overnight. And that way, be good and solid by Monday. I won't work on it tomorrow's church, but I'll get them at least created, set, and by Monday I can start working on hanging the headers, cutting it off, getting my level line over the top. So stay with me. Denise came and helped me set the posts. So we got the post set, and got them sack-created good, and we're gonna let that sit tonight and tomorrow. Monday I'll start putting the headers up and getting it, make sure it's square up top. So those things will be a little bent or warped, whatever. But I'll put the headers up, get my measurements, how my drop's going to be on the roof. And we're 15 foot wide, and I'm 16 foot deep. When I put the headers on, I'll let the tin come a little off the front and a little off the back, give me a little bit more length on that, and we'll have that covered on the smokehouse. It was a little bit of a to-do, I'm not gonna lie, for me, trying to figure out how to square this, but hopefully, I've done it justice. And I am gonna re-treat the smokehouse, put a coat on it to protect it some more. But it's getting late, and the girl's been inside all day waiting on me to get done with this, and it's hard to do it by yourself. But a little help, Denise helped me, and we got it set. So just pray that it sets good, and then we'll start working on the rafters soon. So keep watching.